Sean Payton today at Denver Broncos training camp gushed about an unknown rookie who seems to be turning a lot of heads, and then he had a very odd comment about the position that rookie is playing in that really has me wondering what the future of that position is. Is that player on this team, or is it a player we're trying to get elsewhere? We're going to break that down and a ton more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ben. I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan. Helps me out a ton if you would smash that like and subscribe button, and we're going to dive in here. So the player we're going to be talking about is a linebacker, an inside linebacker. And we just had probably the GOAT of Denver Broncos inside linebackers, Randy Gradishar, inducted into the Hall of Fame, number 53. We've had incredible inside linebackers. We've had Al Wilson, Romanowski. Brandon Marshall. The list goes on and on. Let me know in the comments, who is your favorite all-time Denver Broncos linebacker and inside linebacker? We're not talking edge rusher like Von Miller, who was listed as linebacker, but not really a linebacker. So the player that we're talking about today, who Sean Payton gushed about, and has gushed about several times and went out of his way to make sure that this player ended up on the Denver Broncos, is an undrafted free agent named Levelle Bailey. The interesting thing about him is that he went to Fresno State. Fresno State actually has turned out like quite a bit of NFL talent. If you take a look at obviously, like the biggest one is Devontae Adams, but you can, several quarterbacks went there. Derek Carr went there, right? Yeah, they were college like roommates and stuff like that. So they've cranked out some NFL talent in the past. So it's not totally unrealistic that you could see an NFL starter coming from a smaller school like Fresno State. And the interesting thing about that is that there were several teams who wanted Levelle Bailey as the draft was winding down, meaning they had him on the draft board. But as you saw, team needs and players still there, they started to say, hey, this player's not going to get drafted, and we thought they should be drafted. And so Sean Payton is one of the only coaches that I've ever heard of doing this, where he called an undrafted free agent, not just once, but twice. And one of the reasons Levelle Bailey in his introductory press conference here said he came here was because when the head coach of a team calls you up twice and you're an undrafted dude, it shows that you have a really, really good shot at making the team. So Levelle Bailey, insane speed. Watch him right here. Man, just pick that off as kind of disguise his blitz coverage there. And then right here he is, boom, disguises the blitz, drops back into pressure or into coverage right there, makes the pick. And then you see his exact kind of what he baited the quarterback into was, look at him on the blitz here, actually come in. And this dude looks like he could be an absolute champ and a game wrecker. And the interesting thing to me about why I think it's interesting, Sean Payton really talked him up today. There's a lot of talk that he could make the team over someone like a Justin Stranad, and not just make the team on the 53, but could he actually be slotted in to be a starter at that inside linebacker position? And the reason I bring that up is because Sean Payton today was asked about the difference between Cody Barton and Jonas Griffith, and saying, hey, how's that competition going? Who do you think is going to win that? And he said, well, the big thing is, like, these guys need to remember that they're not jockeying against each other. They're battling against every single 53-man roster across the league. And so he was saying, like, hey, it's not either or, because we might go get an inside linebacker somewhere else around the league who gets cut. And that just made me feel like I went in thinking Jonas Griffith was this dude. It was our first move of NFL free agency, was getting him back. But then Sean Payton to not only talk up Levelle Bailey, but then also say, hey, they're competing against anyone else who gets cut out there. They're not just competing against each other, which really made me think, like, hey, is this inside linebacker position that I thought was a lock between either Barton or Griffith, is it maybe not as big of a lock as we think? Either way, no matter which one of those dudes we end up signing, we know that, which one of those dudes ends up playing in that position. Is it a Levelle Bailey? Is it Barton? Or is it Jonas Griffith? One of the things that I just saw on Twitter today was, here's this cool ranking of inside linebacker, and the percentage of separation, completion percentages over here on the left, and then how much separation they get on the linebacker is over here on the right. And so you see Josie Jewell right here. And interestingly enough, you see Cody Barton here. And so I had thought, hey, these guys are going to be scrapping, and hopefully they're going to be as good as Josie Jewell. But I don't even think Cody Barton is necessarily better than Jonas Griffith. And it's looking like that actually may be an upgrade, not necessarily the step back or filling shoes. Like, could it be possible that we have an inside linebacker who plays even better than Josie last year? And this time next year, we're saying Josie who? So that'll all be very interesting to see. We see some of the league's best up here at the top right. Super cool thing right here. TJ Edwards, one of my former students when I was a high school teacher. So that is absolutely insane right there. It'd be cool if he ended up with the Denver Broncos someday. But other big news of the day is a lot of talk and speculation and Twitter rumors and all of that about the Broncos depth chart. And it's amazing to see the Broncos beat reporters stand up for the fact that the national media truly does not pay any attention. Love Cody Rourke and the work he and Sarah do on Locked On Broncos. And basically they say, like, why does the national media never actually follow what the local media is saying? And he reiterates, yeah, it's a big issue because in all this talk about Bo Nix being the third string quarterback, it was noted today that of the last 9 padded practices, he has definitely got the bulk, and he's had Bo Nix has started 6 of the last 9 practices. Really interesting press conference with Bo Nix after the practice today, and he was asked, hey, when was the last time you actually were a backup? And he went back all the way. He didn't start playing football until he was in 7th grade, and when he was in 7th grade, he actually played JV quarterback for the high school, and then when he was in 8th grade, he played varsity football, which is amazing, especially in the South. Like, he's not just going to Thornton High School like I did. And that's pretty cool here that he started every single game since he was in 9th grade, all the way through multiple colleges, playing in the SEC, playing at the highest level of Oregon. And when asked about how he felt about being listed as the third string quarterback, I could not get over how calm, cool, and collected he was and just the poise and moxie he showed. So he's asked, like, hey, how does it feel to be listed as third? And with complete seriousness, just watch his body language and how he responds to it.
Kind of notice that commotion or anything like that? And couldn't care less. Okay. So is that generally on the depth chart? You don't care how you're listed at this point, I guess, honestly. Couldn't care less.
So it was very like Jay Cutler-esque, but not in like a jerky way, just in a very confident way. Like, hey, couldn't care less, but not in a way that was demeaning to the media or seemed like he didn't care about opinions and was going to go smoke some Jay Cutler cigarettes, but truly just like, hey, I've started every single game since I was in 8th grade, and I could not care less that I'm listed as third. We then heard Sean Payton say that obviously the depth chart will change. Rookies are going to rise up. And from all accounts, while the offense did not have a great day today on their install of third down packages, Bo Nix really shined and showed up and had some great plays over the middle. Just seeing how the ball comes out of his hand, I can't stop watching it and can't stop getting super, super hyped for what this team is going to be this year. And especially, man, if that inside linebacker position is not a step down, but even if it's just a lateral step over with Vance Joseph's defense being in its 2nd year, I really think that there is a lot to look forward to. I know I'm always like sky is blue because I think the sky is very blue in Denver Broncos country, but I do have to say this is like the first time since we've hired him that I think Sean Payton is making a bad move, and that's with this quarterback position. I really think it's time to poop or get off the pot. I think, there are so few throws that you actually get to make in practice, and there are so few reps out there. Let's pick a direction. And I trust Sean Payton to make that decision. You've seen enough, man. Like, let's pick a quarterback and let him run with it. I hope that's Bo Nix. But if you believe that's Jarrett Stidham, let's do it. Either way, we are not getting 3 games worse than last year. We've improved at every position, and we have a ton to believe in.